Hello, welcome back to another mixed media canvas with Ann. For the hashtag Love Winter Art theme with the CAC of YouTube, the Creative Artist Collaboration. I'm starting with a 5x7 canvas. It was damaged, and I am collaging pieces of papers that I got out of my scrap bin. There's some handmade papers in there, some altered papers, some nice thin decoupage papers from DecoArt. I'm using the DecoArt Decoupage, one of my favorite products, sealer, glue finish, and matte. And now I'm dulling all the papers down with some gesso. After that is dry, I'm going over that with two distress inks by Ranger from the Tim Holtz collection of distress inks, one in Broken China and the other is Stormy Sky. I just wanted it to be a little bit bluer, more wintry like it is outside. Now using some white pigment ink, the craft ink by Stampin' Up, and this cool stamp that I have with lots of snowflakes, I'm just adding some background. Using this stencil that I picked up at the dollar store many years ago, I am using it to add the creative medium in metallic silver, and later I'll add some blue iridescent creative medium. It's like it's a creamy paste that produces a bold metallic color. And it really is really pretty and cool once it all dries there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using a scraper and scraping on some of the creative medium paste. And I suggest when using your stencils and any type of paste, modeling paste, cream paste, whatever, to wash it right away, because otherwise it will just stick to your stencil and make it all rough and hard. So the next thing I do is, while the paste is drying, or pastes are drying, I go get some Snow-Tex. That's an older product by DecoArt. I'm not even sure if they still make it, but I have a little tub of it in my drawer, and actually I've had it for so long that it was starting to harden up. So I softened it with some spritzes of water, and it just came right back to its consistency. It's really like a sandy modeling paste, but it makes really cool snow effect. With the Prima stamps, I stamped the image. It's a Julie netting stamp, one of the girls in the collection, onto a piece of regular white paper, and I flip over half the paper so I could use the stamped image as a guide to draw on her winter outfit, because in the original stamped image the girl is wearing a short sleeve, very short dress, and well, that's a little too cold for winter, so my girl needs to be wearing a coat and some maybe thick leggings and some boots. So that is what I am drawing there with a mixture of Crayola and Prismacolor and Faber-Castell pencils that I have on my desk. I'm not being very particular about which one, I'm just going for the colors. And that's what I'm doing. I'm coloring. I drew the coat and traced the envelope and added the boots and colored that with my coloring pencils. Now, down there at the bottom of the screen, I'm actually coloring the face and hair of the doll. So this will be my girl walking through the snow, going to mail her letters. Perhaps she's a very young woman or a girl, mailing a letter to Santa Claus, or it could be a letter to a card to a relative that lives far away. And to me, winter is about snow. It's about dressing very warmly. I live in a northern climate where we have to put up with a lot of cold. Although this year we have not had any snow yet that has stayed on the ground. Our fall has been extremely mild, and it does not feel like winter at all this year so far. But it will soon come, and it will hit us, and we will be getting out our parkas like this girl is wearing, and getting out our boots and hats and mittens, and yeah. But on a beautiful day when it snows and we don't have to drive anywhere, it is really beautiful, and that's what I'm showing you here in this little canvas. What I'm doing now with the pencils is adding some details, shading, and adding some dimension. I'm trying to use my white gel pen, which has dried out, for the white fuzzy fake fur on her parka, but then I resort to using my Pip pen, which works a lot better, by the way. It has a beautiful white ink. I forgot to mention that I pasted the clothing that I drew over the top of the stamped image, and now I'm just cutting through both layers, and I'm going to use some more glue to adhere the girl to the snowy walking outside through the woods or the park maybe of my canvas. You can see the tree branches that are kind of silvery and blue and covered in snow. That's pretty much what I see here a lot. And actually I do have a red coat, very similar to that one, and I do wear brown boots, and then I do wear a lot of black leggings, so I guess that's where I got my inspiration. Now I'm using a water-soluble sketching pencil by Derwent. No, sorry, that one is my Faber-Castell graphite aquarelle. I'm using that to add shading around the girl with a little touch of water. It adds some dimension, makes her pop out more of the image. I also use the same pencil to highlight the branches. There I'm going over with my Micron pen. So please go check out all the other contributions made by the CAC artists of YouTube. We are all doing something in the theme of this love winter art.